Okay. All right. I'm going to give a big update. I'm going to catch everybody update. And basically, here we go. So, Wen Ching Wang has COVID-19, apparently by choice. Obviously, he's in heaven. I guess where he lives, he has it a lot like Earth, and maybe he does this so he can understand what it's like now in the modern age too. I'm not quite sure. He chose to live in a very Earth-like place in heaven, and apparently they can get sick there too. I wouldn't have chosen, but hey, that's his choice. He probably has really intelligent reasons for it, right? Okay, so that's his situation. He's been out for 2 days. So he should be back tomorrow. Things go faster there. What would be weeks there is only a couple days here, I guess. Sometimes it feels like it's the other way around. I don't know. Anyways, however it works, time is different there. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Then we got we used some powers to get a map. What we'll do is we're looking for an old ancient item right now. And it's so old, it's prior to the tectonic plates shifting the continents. So we're having to figure out where it is from a written, like a word map, almost not really a riddle, but just a description map that's described in words. And that basically tells us where it's located using landmark and key elements of the Earth when it wasn't, separated. It was one big continent. Okay, so issue ends up being, okay, that's fine. But the problem is because it's from prehistory, we don't have any maps, any kind of descriptions really of the world back then. So to figure it out, we had to create a map using special powers to form a map of that time period. Well, we formed what we thought was going to form a map. It did produce a map, but it wasn't like a specifically magically formed one. It was actually a map that was in the hands, because it has his signature and name on the back, of the World Church leader Nicholas. So we basically ripped him off, which we're not complaining about. However, I did find out a little bit more about the map. The map that we did get, that was actually his, is actually a relatively common one. It looks like he took a modern representation, compiled it himself. So basically they looked at the Earth, they saw the continents, and you can kind of observe how if you started to push them towards I think it's the Atlantic, towards that direction, they kind of jigsaw together. So I guess that's what he must have had it done, was this little map created. Well, we tried calling the map out, and it's thrash. It's been burnt because it was so far from our location. I mean, we're talking all the way almost, I don't know how many miles it is. 4,000 miles? It can be longer than that probably. Just, it's far away. And to get here and use those powers, it got damaged because you would need much more powers for long distance travel, things like that, than we actually have. So oftentimes when we do this, things are damaged, destroyed. It just doesn't really work out so well. There's times when you need to. If you can take an item from a being that maybe is going to use it for bad purposes and you're willing to sacrifice that item, well, then I guess you just use the powers you got. I don't have the map in front of me, unfortunately, but that's all right. May be able to show everybody more about that later. It's one of those things where keep it locked away and safe so that nothing happens to it. But it turns out that the particular map we have, and this is what we need to remember here, is that it's not the actual map of that time period. It's just a jigsaw piecing together. And it's actually pretty common to find this type of map, even on the internet, I guess. All right, that gives you an update of the map situation, where things have gone with that. Also, why Wen Chang is no longer speaking to us. Simply, he's sick. So, I hope that helps. Gives everybody an update, and then I'll show everybody what my progress on our communication booth with the Mystic Beings tomorrow. I did some of it today, and then I'll be finishing it up tomorrow, so I should be able to show everybody it. Before I go, we're gonna get a. I knew I was forgetting something. We're gonna get a Mystic Being from the fairies, who's going to be our messenger being. So we should be able to do more. He sounds like he's from the military, and if so, then that means that we're getting somebody who's more of a professional. Which, in a way, you can rely on a professional, and he really knows what he's in for. He knows what's going on. So I'm glad in that sense. It makes it easier. All right. That gives everybody an update. Well, we should know more about him either tonight or tomorrow.